Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and I've spent a little time looking at some of these errors that are in Stryker. And I was just looking at these. There's ones that I have like timeouts and even worse, compilation errors. So the timeout here is if they flip it from not elements to elements, which I think makes sense because this one is getting 32 values from SecureRandom. And yeah, I think that just ends up spinning, and that's not what you want. So timeout, well, yeah. Anyway, the one that was also interesting is compiler errors. I don't know how those are exposed here. So I was looking through this and I don't see, yeah. So I'm going to put that in here and say SecureRandom add 2 compiler errors, but I can't find them. Come on, type. Find them. Okay. I want to report some stuff or at least ask them like, hey, where did this come from? Because I can't see where the issue is. Like that just, at least it seems like when you click on one of these, it puts a little number thing by them. So I just want to go through this again and say, have I missed this somewhere? I don't think so. So I don't know where it thinks it's doing a compilation error. But I mean, I didn't check the version or I didn't even see how, but it's an open source project and, you know, give them some love. Maybe there's a mistake. I don't know, you know. So, okay. So anyway, there were a couple things. I'm not going to address all of them. Oh, one other thing is when you look at the report here and you say all files, I don't see a way to say like a summary. That'd be really nice to get a summary for where I'm at, because now when I do this again, I want to just get a quick, did I bump it up? So who knows? Anyway. Oh, that's another thing I just thought of. Sorry, which is Stryker pluggable? Meaning, can I create my own mutators? And what I'm thinking of is like a throw mutator. Comments out a throw. God, why is that? Keyword should be fine. Anyway, the thing is, it'd be nice if there was like, if you had a throw in there that would just say it doesn't throw anymore. You should have a test that fails because of that happening. Throwing is, again, throwing to me is not saying, hey, you have a mistake. I mean, well, yes, but that should be like validation, a set of errors, that type of thing. An exception is something really bad happened that we can't continue on as far as we know. And quite frankly, I wish the exception system in .NET would have been done like that all the time everywhere. And it's become like that you can actually catch it. It's like, no, you shouldn't. Of course, what we really should have had is a way to say either return a value or return errors. But I know that gets in a whole different discussion, and that's not the intent here. Anyway, I need to keep this screen up because I want to check when I run this again what happens. So a couple of things I noticed. iList of extensions of T. I was looking at that and I realized the reason that I'm getting problems is iList of T extension tests is I shouldn't be using equivalent to. I should be using is equal to, and that threw me. I actually thought that I should be doing is equal to. So, or is equivalent to. This is just going to say, is the same number of elements in this list equal to the same number of elements in this list, and it doesn't matter the order. And that's actually exactly what I don't want. It needs to be exactly the same. Yeah, because then I look at the items that it started with. This is mutating the list, and so it should be equal to that. So that's one thing I think I need to do, and that will bump up the count, the numbers a little bit. Exception formatting, there was one thing that I didn't know, which is I don't ever check the help link, even though the code is actually putting the help link in the stream of string content. So it will do a mutation that will actually change it to an empty string. It's basically saying, well, you meant to put this in here. So if I don't put it in there, what happens? And I need to check for that. There's also a format. I don't have a test for format with no custom properties. There's a case where in the exception extension, if I go over there, that somewhere within this, yeah, I think it was doing greater than or equal to. And what I need to do is say, well, if I have no properties, I shouldn't be seeing this. This won't happen because even if it did get in there, it won't print any of those out because they don't exist. But this is literally saying it has to be greater than. Okay, so then yes, we'll print that out. Secure random, that's an interesting one because it was picking up things like dispose, if it was flipping this to being like equals or something like that. And what I should really do is try to call dispose on it multiple times. And if it is disposed, then one is I should be throwing an exception here. Another one here is that I should not be calling the generator twice. Okay, and the random number generator is from there, and I believe that's abstract. Yeah, so I could possibly override the dispose and like just a handwritten mock and say, I should only call this once. If I've called it more than once, throw an exception. And yeah, in fact, arguably I should be doing that in here, which is, well, is that true? You should never call dispose more than once. But yeah, is that the rule? I know you're supposed to do this, which a lot of people don't do. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure if it was finding with secure random, like in the places, let's see, that gets covered. And I believe if I look at the tests for secure random tests, do I have things in here like dispose? Yeah, calling after disposing. So I am checking for those things. But in the dispose itself, I think what did it do? I think it flipped. If I go to the dispose here, it said if it's disposing. Okay, so in the case of this, that would be true. And then what I should do is make sure that it is being called. That's what I should be doing. So then dispose on the generator should, so the real thing I should be checking for is in dispose, make sure the generator's dispose is being called as well. Okay, that's what I really need to be checking. And this is kind of a tool that's like flipping with my brain because I have to think of what's the opposite and what does that mean when I need to write another test. So, or we'll look at the tests that I have. Now there's a lot more that it found. Don't get me wrong, it found more than that. I'm just going to go through this list and change these because I know these are definitely things I need to fix, and then we'll try it again. Okay. Am I recording? Just checking if I'm recording. I am recording. Okay, so let's go through this list here real quick. And so the first thing is the I list of T extensions tests. So we don't want to use like is equivalent here. We want to use is equal to. Okay. And actually I'm going to push this up on the line there. I think that reads a little bit better. Now what's funny is I think IntelliCode is going to kick in a moment and go, oh, what you really meant to do is, yeah, like here it's saying what you know what? Why not? And what should happen is all these tests should still pass because I'm really trying to see it was meant, is it literally equal to? Oh my God, why is it doing that? That is annoying. Yeah, don't do that. That's really annoying. Shuffle. Oh, that's just, yeah, it's kind of an odd test there in that I'm just saying, well, you should still have 5 elements in it, I guess, and you should still see. This is one that you might want to say is equal to because it should still, or equivalent to, because it has an assert in there, and then we're saying it's equivalent to this, that we should still have 5 elements and we should still have these 5 elements within it. The order does not matter. Okay, so that actually is okay in this case. All right. And then we throw that. Okay, so now we're swapping. Should be exactly. It's going to catch me every single time I'm doing this. Okay. All right, so now let's just run these tests. And let's also go to build and put it back in release. So let's just run these, because nothing should fail. The test should still pass. And as we can see very, very quickly, of course, because it's Visual Studio's Test Explorer, is that we should get some test report. Yeah, they all, okay, so they all passed. That's expected. So we got that all addressed, and that should address the issues that Stryker found. Okay, so that's done. Now in the exception, when I'm creating an exception extension, let's go here to throw. And we're going to throw a non-implement exception, except I'm going to do one little thing here. I'm going to say help link. All it is a string, so I think you can just say help. Okay. You can say HTTP S, because of course S. Help.com. Now, I have no idea if that's even a link. So if that's a link to something that's very nefarious, I apologize in advance, but that was not the intent, because, you know. Okay, assert that. Wait, did it? Oh, it was. Yes. No. I want that. Give me that, yeah. Contains substring that. Okay, and that test should pass, because it should have that in the, and it does. Okay, so that thing is fixed now. And now we need a format with no custom properties, and I think we have one with custom properties. Yeah, so what I want to say here is I want to say exception with throw, because what I want to do is explicitly catch that I am not getting anything with no custom properties. Okay, so that is a not implemented exception, I believe. Yeah, and what should it not contain? I forget, because if we don't have any properties, it should not contain this word. Okay, the rest of this I don't care, and actually that takes care of that. Okay, there we go. So now that takes care of that problem, I believe. Okay, now before we move to secure random, no, there we go. Okay, I want to be back here. Before we go to secure random stuff, let's run the test here. And these should all pass. We should have no problems with these. Right? Yes. Any moment now. Please. Okay, so they all pass. Good. Now secure random. This one should be interesting. So we want secure random tests. And we want to create, like I just want to, do I even have a, I have a get. I never create big integer, create. So what I want is like, public static void dispose generator. Okay. And so I'm going to say is that was scary. That was really scary. Now it's not what I want. I want to actually put it in a loop, and this is with a generator. Okay, so I have a generator down here. We're going to keep that error there, and let's do something like public int dispose count. I just want to count how many times it's been disposed. So then we say override dispose, and we're just going to say this dot dispose count plus plus. I should be able to, oh, I need to say private set. Okay. And then it will let me do that. Okay. And we're just going to pull that up there. All right. So now coming back up here, what we should have is new my generator. Okay. Except I need this in a block. I wish there was a say to say I want this in a block. Whoa. Okay, because I want to actually be able to call dispose on it. How are you doing this? Because, well, no. I mean, what I'm saying is this, okay? And I guess I don't need it in a using statement, although you really should. But now I want to say, let's pull this out into a local. Yep. Now I want to say assert that generator dot dispose count is equal to 1. Okay. So, yeah. Because if we flipped it, it will never be called. And now that should work. Okay. And it does. I never test get big integer with range, passing in a big integer, passing in a negative value. So that's generate or get. Get big integer with min and max values. Wait, was that? Interesting. Interesting. I should probably call these, well, no, because there's create big integer with range. And those are their get big integer with range. Generate integer with a, yeah, why are these called create? These should be get big integer because that's what we're actually calling here. And as long as I don't, there. So really what I want to do here is I want to call that if I actually pass it a negative number, I should get an argument exception. Okay. Why is it saying incorrect max value with 0 with negative number, negative value? So we could say here big integer, big integer, big integer, big. So we could say -3, and now we'll convert it into a big integer, and we should also get an argument exception, right? Right. And so if I run this test, it should actually succeed by failing. But we never actually had an explicit test to say pass in a negative value. Get big integer with 0 length. That's not true. Oh, this is with range. Yeah, that's what, okay, yeah. Never mind. And then I don't check the exception message from get big integer with range. Ah, yes. So we want to say here, is there an and message? Contains is message equal to. Except this should be 0, which reads weird now that I'm looking at it, but that's kind of the point of doing all this, right? It throws a type of exception and message equal to that. And the same thing in this case, that we want to say throws type of exception. Except we put this down here, and we move that over there, and we do that. And we want this to be -3. So if we pull these up here, what should happen, oh, No. Okay, so I'm just an idiot and I had one too many. Okay. I had one too many. Story of my life. I should have just gone to the... Whoa. Two failed. What did they fail on? Just show me the failures. That's all I want. Oh. Really? Oh, yes, you're correct. I'm an idiot. No, let me just copy this, okay? Okay, so what we want this to be is, I think that was what it was complaining about. And there's only one space there. Okay. Okay, so we come back up here. We're in the tests again, and we should be okay. And we are. Okay, now I think I've done the things I want to do, at least right now, with Stryker. So what I'm going to do this time, make sure I'm in release. Okay, so we're going to go back to the PowerShells, and we're going to say Stryker, and we're going to see, did the report get a little better? Okay, so I will be back when this finishes. Okay, I'm back. Everything ran. And just visually, this is what I had before. I just made all the changes that I just did in this episode. And so you can see 65, 66, 58, 67. Now I'm up to 72, 78, 70, and that's still 58, but I didn't touch range. So that's okay. So you can see just, the numbers are going up a little bit, and that makes things a little bit better and a little bit nicer. And I'm thinking of adding this to Transpire and a couple of other my projects just to see what it finds and if there's some, low-hanging fruit and easier things to catch. Now it's giving 3 compilation errors, and which is the one that's getting a compilation error? Range extensions. So you're getting a compilation error. But I can't see where, how, or why. I'm missing where it's causing a compiler error. If you say expand all, I think it's expanding all of the ones that you have clicked, maybe? Oh, there. Is that the problem? So what did they try to do? That's where it is. Okay, so it had nothing to do with that. It's just really hard to see. Okay. So expanding it, it put it out that way. Okay, well, okay, fine. So it's doing what it is. But if I say ranges as enumerable, why would that fail? So this is in range extensions. Okay, so if I go into range extensions, and it's at the it should be, so instead of doing this, it's doing this. Well, ranges dot as enumerable with the, and it can't do that. So there's a bug here in that it's trying to change. Reverse is a method on my thing. It is not an extension method, although you could, I don't know, link mutation method reverse to as enumerable compiler error. Yeah, that's wrong. It should never have done that. So I think what they're doing is reverse the order of elements. And why is that being changed from reverse to as enumerable? I don't know, but that's a bug. That's one thing I need to tell them about. Compiler error in range extensions. Can't switch from reverse to as enumerable. Okay, so I'll have to find out how I can give them this feedback, because there's a couple things I found, just questions, comments, and I want to get that all to them. At least I figured this one out. Okay, and now if I come back over to here, if I look at, what was the other one that had, there was compiler errors. There was another place that had compiler. Yeah, it was SecureRandom. So now if I wish there was a way that you could just turn all these off. But that's okay. And let's expand them. So hopefully they stick out a little bit more this time. Oh. What in the... Why did you... The knot of that? Why would you do that? Yeah, that's a... And then the bitwise... Yeah. So I'm going to give them 2 in range extension. And then at least I figured out how to find these. So, and then in secure random. I'm guessing what happened was, where the hell is the tilde? There it is. Is probably, like, what did that actually do? So it's doing 2 to the bit, except now it's saying not that. So line 158 of secure random. So let's go to 158 of secure random. So what it's saying here is, let's put that in a thing, and then let's do that. And that's giving a compilation error. If I read that right. Not 2 bits to the 8, and then it should still be a byte. Well, that seems okay. But yeah, we definitely don't want to keep that around. So I don't know why that one is 2 bits. Yeah. And then the other thing it tried to do is to equal. Well, that is definitely not going to work. I mean, this I can definitely. Well, no, that should be arguably okay. But that's gonna. Yeah, that definitely doesn't work. Okay, so do I have that one down there? No, I don't. Get the mouse over there. Double equals is incorrect. Okay. I don't know why they think that that should have worked. You can't just say a power is equal because of what you're passing it in. Anyway, very interesting tool. I am intrigued at the least, and I think I'm going to spend some time on some other projects. And there's still some things I've found in here that I'm not really sure how to resolve, although I think they should be resolved, like the one with the ranges. I don't, like if you pass in the same, that's okay, and it keeps insisting that, well, you should fail that. It's like, no, that's that's all right. So some of these are kind of like, okay. So in any event, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to try it on some other projects, and it was kind of fun playing with this. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.